Hey everyone, good morning and welcome back to another vlog. I just finished organizing a bunch of stationery that I got from Temu and from some small shops here. I've never bought anything from Temu, so I wanted to just try it out. So far the quality is very questionable, but I'm gonna be trying it out and I'm gonna be using it for journaling, and I'm gonna see if I like it or not. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my channel and just my plans for 2024 for my YouTube channel. When I started this channel, my main goal and my main purpose was to do it and to talk about books, to talk about things that I enjoy and that I love doing. And reading is one of those things. I love reading, I enjoy reading. However, I don't read 20 books a month. I just don't, I don't have the time to do that. So I want this channel to be about what I love and not just reading. So I love reading, but I also love doing other things. I love journaling, I love diamond painting, I love coloring, I love traveling, I love going out and doing things with my kids and my family. So I want to incorporate that into this channel. So although I am still going to keep reading related content on this channel because it's something that I love to do, I am also going to be doing other stuff, so journaling and, like I said, diamond painting, a lot of cozy hobbies and stuff. I want this channel to just be more chill, more cozy, more relaxing. So hopefully that's what it's gonna be. And let me know if there's any any tips or any ideas that you all have moving forward. I wanted to share also what I am currently reading. So as you saw, I'm listening to Tom Lake by Anne Patchett. Last year I read The Dutch House by Anne Patchett. That was my first ever book by Anne Patchett, and I loved it. It was an unexpected read. The only reason why I read that book was because it was available through Libby, and I thought the cover was beautiful, so I was like, okay, I thought to myself, okay, I'm just gonna read it because I needed an audiobook to listen to while I was out doing stuff. And I loved that book. It was, I forgot exactly what I said, but it was just like a touch of real life. And at the end of the book, I was just sobbing. Like, she literally pulled my heart out. And when I saw Tom Lake was released recently, I said, okay, I need to read it. I need to read this book. And it's I'm listening to it in audiobook, and it's being narrated by Meryl Streep. And so far it's really good. But similar to The Dutch House, I don't know anything about the book. I didn't read what the book is about. Again, I love going into books not knowing anything at all and just listening to them and reading them. Similar to how I went into The Dutch House, and so far we are sitting down somewhere in someone's house, and I think her name's Laura, and she's telling a story to her daughters of her past, basically. And it's kind of like a similar vibe to The Dutch House, where someone is saying a story, if I remember correctly. So you're going back in time. So there's a lot of like going back and forth between like where they are now in the present time, and then going back to the past. So far, again, you get like this touch of like real life and like real things. But then I just want to keep listening, and I just want to know, like, okay, I know there's gonna be something that pulls at my heartstrings, or something that's gonna be like, oh, that's so relatable. So I'm just listening and waiting for the magic to happen. I'm really enjoying the audiobook, so far it's good, but I am 20% in. I am a bit confused because of the going back and forth, and there's a lot of names mentioned so far. Obviously the main character's name, and then her daughter's names, and then the other people. You're also in a small town, and a lot of the names of those characters are mentioned, so there is a lot of that. But so far it's good. So far I'm really enjoying it. And I just finished, before I started reading this, I finished my first ever Abby Jimenez book. I've never read an Abby Jimenez book, but I've seen a lot of booktubers talk about Abby Jimenez. And then Suheila and the Six from YouTube. I think that's how you say her channel name. I will tag her down below, but she talked about this book in her channel, I think, and then she mentioned that she loved it. And then Allie from Allison Pages, she mentioned it in her channel that she loved it. A lot of people added this book to their favorites, and it was available through Libby, so I was like, okay, let's listen to it. And I finished it in like 2 days. I think it was like 2 or 3 days. I couldn't stop listening to it, and I am not like a romance reader. Like, I don't really read romance. I guess you can say I find them kind of boring, or like a lot of the tropes are boring to me. I love plot-driven books. I love fantasy books. I love magical realism books. I love books that have like all these details and all of like these different things like coming together and affecting the characters' lives, and they have to do all of these things. And this book had that. Like, it had a plot, and it had me intrigued until the last minute. I was asking every minute of the audiobook, like, okay, what's gonna happen, and that's never happened with romance books. So I really enjoyed this book. I think I'm gonna give it 5 stars. I don't think I've ever given a romance 5 stars, but I'm gonna give it 5 stars because it was good. The writing was good. The audiobook was good. Like, it was intriguing. The actual romance between the two characters was good. Like, just everything was good. I really enjoyed it. So if you are not a romance reader and you want to start reading romance, I definitely recommend this one. And I'm gonna be looking out for more Abby Jimenez books. And hopefully this isn't the only best one out there. Hopefully she has some more good ones. So that's that for audiobooks. And then physically, what I am reading is 2 books. So I'm reading How Do You Live, which is translated from Japanese, I think. And the author is Ganzaburo Yoshino. And again, I went in not knowing much about the book, nothing at all. And I've already started like tabbing a lot. But I think we're following, I'll read it back for you all. And How Do You Live, Cooper, our hero, and his uncle are our guides in science and ethics and thinking, and on the way they take us through a school story set in Japan in 1937 to the heart of the questions we need to ask ourselves about the way we live our lives. So we're following a young boy and his uncle and their journey and their life. So far it's really good. I'm just 17 pages in, so obviously I haven't read much, but the writing style is really good. And then I'm really intrigued as to like what we're gonna learn. Obviously we're gonna be questioned about our life and how do we live. But yeah, this one is this book. I haven't read much, so I can't really tell you all much. And then I am reading Six of Crows finally. Okay, I've been wanting to read this for so long. I've already read the Shadow and Bone trilogy, so I needed to read it. I needed to read this book, and I am 203 pages in. This book is taking me a really long time to read because it's so big. I think it's like 500 pages. I think so. But I'm loving this book. I'm like loving it so much. I love, like I said, I love fantasy. And I'm already familiar with the world because obviously I read the Shadow and Bone trilogy and I loved the Shadow and Bone trilogy. So, but it's so interesting and I'm loving seeing the world through a different perspective, obviously from the Shadow and Bone trilogy. When you're reading Six of Crows, you're getting a whole other part of the world and you're getting a whole other perspective. And then I love that you get the story through the different perspectives of the different members of the, basically from the different perspective of the Six Crows. And one thing that I think it's really well done and that I love is that there is no repetition. Like, you'll get different perspectives, for example, from Inej, of Jesper, of Kaz, of Nina, and then of like the same thing that happened, but they're like one after the other. So you're not getting like the repetition of like, well, this happened, and then another person says, well, this happened, and it's the same thing. You're like, oh, I feel like sometimes authors do that. Like, they'll provide different perspectives, but of the same thing that already happened. And you're like, oh, I already know that happened. I don't want to hear the same thing said twice by 2 different people. Even if they provide obviously different opinions and thoughts. And in this book, you get the different perspectives, you get the different character development of each of the characters, and you don't get repetition, which I am loving. Again, I'm loving the world, I'm loving the journey, I am loving the mission. And I don't really finish series, like I don't read one after the other. I take like a few days, a few weeks, a few months between the books, but I just want to read Crooked Kingdom. Like, as soon as I finish this, I just want to jump into Crooked Kingdom because I just want to know what's gonna happen. But I'm only 200 pages in, so we'll see when I finish this. I'm trying to read at least 100 pages. My son colored this for me and I put it in here, but I'm trying to read at least 100 pages a day or every 2 days. So that's how far I am, but I'm loving it so far. I feel like now is the right time to read it. I've waited so long. I bought this so long ago, and I feel like it's a good time to read it. So I am so happy. And as far as ebooks, I haven't been like reading a lot of ebooks because I've been like so into this book. So even if it's like nighttime, usually I read my ebooks at night. So even if it's nighttime, I'll just get my night light and I'm like, I'm reading this. I'm not reading anything else. But I do have some ebooks that I've borrowed. The main one is Against the Loveless World by Susan Abulhawa. And I just got that one yesterday. So I'm probably gonna be starting that one sometime this week. And then other books that I'm reading, I've been reading Amulet, the graphic novel by the author. I have the graphic. I have number 1 and number 3. These are in Dutch, and these are by Kazuki Kibuishi. I'm sorry if I am butchering it, but I love the art. I love the story and the plot. I read the first one with my kids, and then they didn't have the second one in the library. They had the third one, so we got the third one. We still haven't read it. But I got the second one through Libby, but it's in English. So I read the first one to my kids in Dutch, and they loved it. They loved the story, the book. It's so good. And then I got the second one in English, and I started reading it, but I haven't read it to them. So hopefully we'll read it today or tomorrow, and then we can read the third one. So those are those. And I really like those. The art, the story, the plot, it's so good. The world. It's great for little kids. I mean, my kids loved it. So that is all. Those are the books that I am reading. Let me know what you guys are reading. But yeah, I have to get to work. I have to do some work. I have to do some work. And then hopefully we get some reading time later today. I'll see you all in the next clip.